Hello Steelers, and welcome to another bench report, hobby update. This is the second one in the new war room. By now I expect you probably have already seen the how to make a war room part 1 video. That was shot quite a few weeks ago, so the war room doesn't look like it does in that video anymore because I've managed to tidy things up. Because of my scheduling and things with videos, that came out obviously before or after this one, so it's no before this, but it's you know, it's an old image. I'm still not going to show you the war room here because I still have got other videos on how I'm putting it together, so I'm just really, you know, I'm sitting here at the desk, as you can see, all set up, ready to go. But I have been, you know, clearing out quite a lot of stuff. One of the things I did, I sold a load of things on eBay that I was never going to get around to painting, things that had just been sitting in boxes for literally years at this point, and I thought, right, I need a clean slate for a lot of things. The stuff that I decided I was going to do, but I just never ever got around to it, and I will never get around to it. So there's literally no point in me hanging on to these things. If I do want to go back to those projects at some point in the future, I will then buy them again. So I put a load of stuff on eBay. I recognise quite a few names actually of people who've interacted with the channel, and you know, chums and things like that who bidded on stuff. So thank you everybody for bidding, and by the time this video is out, all that stuff should be in the post, and it should be winging its way to you, so it should be with you in the next couple of days. Once again, thank you for doing that. It's the money is going to go back probably into the house rather than anything else, so it's very useful, and it has also cleared out the war room quite a lot on my part, so that's great, so thanks for that. However, I haven't been sitting on my hands all week as well. I dived straight into the Waterloo Epic stuff. I wanted to try out some painting, really. The first thing I painted was the British Guards, the first Guards under Maitland. This was the first unit. I decided to go with the Guards first because, you know, Maitland's time is now, of course. And I also, as part of that, I painted the cannon that was on the sprue, and also the leader on there, and also the 95th Rifles as well, who are on there as well, or 60th Rifles, either or. So I painted all those. I got those painted up, and to be honest, I'm really chuffed with how nice these figures are. There's loads and loads of detail on them. Tons of it. I mean, I've missed out loads of it when I'm painting because I'm just speed painting them to get on the table. I strictly adhere to the 3-foot rule, but I wanted just to try them out and just see how they turn out, and honestly I'm really absolutely blown away by them. When the American Civil War stuff was first released, good few years ago now, I wasn't particularly impressed by it, to be honest. I didn't like the figures. I thought they looked a little cartoonish. I just didn't like the poses of them. I don't know, there was just something off with them, for me anyway, but these have come on in leaps and bounds. They really have. There is tons and tons of detail. I'm going to do some painting videos in future with the British and the French and some of the other bits and pieces in these boxes, so look out for those at some point in the future. But to say at the moment, you know, I'm kind of just working on the fact that they're going to be speed painted and on basically on the table. There's plenty of other videos out there at the moment showing you how to paint these things, and in great detail as well. My videos aren't going to be like that. My videos are going to be this is how you get them on the table quickly. That's the plan. So I've also painted as well a sprue of the French as well, the French infantry. So I did these as the first light infantry unit. These also have the skirmishers, the voltigeurs on there as well, which is quite nice. They're nice little figures to go on bases on their own, so I'm building those up. This is the 1st battalion, so these are the ones that will carry the eagle. All the other ones after this don't have the tricolour, or they will have fanions, and they don't have the eagle on their units, on their flags either, so I'm just going to do a couple of those as well. What I like very much about the French is half of them are in greatcoats. So if you've got a couple of sprues, what you can actually do is you can do a full unit of men in greatcoats and a full unit of men in the typical uniform. You can also cut them up a bit as well because they're plastic, so you can add the leader over onto the greatcoats unit. You know, do quite a bit with them. I'm going to try to do some kit bashing with some of the units later. I've got 10 to play with, so I don't want them all looking exactly the same. And the fact that you're also putting, you know, 2 lines on each of these bases, you can swap these around as well, so you can have a little bit of almost individuality throughout those units, which is quite nice. I picked up on a couple of historical mistakes already in the box set. What I might do, I've done a box opening, so what I might do is I might go back and do an actual review of these, a proper in-depth review, simply because I've now looked at them in a little bit more depth, whereas the box opening, which is coming in the next couple of weeks, was literally just to show you what's in there. So what I might do is actually go back and just go through these things in a bit more fine-toothed comb manner. Let me know in the comments if that's something you'd like to see, and I will make it if that's the case. I'll do it for both of the things, and we can talk about them in quite some detail. But I've noticed a couple of historical mistakes. For example, the Voltigeurs in 1815 did not have plumes, neither did the Grenadiers. Everybody had pompons at that point. So I've had to clip them off the Voltigeurs for the skirmishers, but I haven't clipped them off on the actual unit itself, so they're still on there. I'm just kind of playing this as though they've retained their helmets or their shakos from the previous reforms of the army. But also as well, the other thing in the British one as well I noticed is that they called the Grenadiers, the Guards, the Grenadier Guards. They weren't called the Grenadier Guards until after Waterloo, when they defeated the Grenadiers of the Old Guard, of Napoleon's Old Guard, and that's when they got the name the Grenadier Guards. So there's a couple of little things like that in there, but it's, at the end of the day, it's a Napoleonic set, and there are always going to be people who can nitpick at these things, myself included, and I don't have a vast knowledge of the Napoleonic Wars. That's, it's a minor point really to how good those sets actually are. And I can't believe I'm saying this myself, to be honest. I think I'm absolutely blown away by how good they are and how much detail there is. I started work on the British Light Cavalry as well. Over here you can see them. I've just got them undercoated. I was just doing one of the test figures here. I'll not show you that in close-up, but I've started on those, and I'm actually using contrast paints on the horses as well, and they turned out really well. I'm well chuffed with how they turned out, so I'll show you those when they're finished as well. And I'm just trying to work out how many is going to go on the strip. In the pictures it looks like 5, but there isn't. I think there's something like 27 light cavalry. I think it's the hussars that I'm doing at the moment. No, sorry, it's the light dragoons, and so that would get me 5 strips with a couple of figures left over. So I have to do a bit of messing about. I was also talking to Tim over at the Napoleonic Wargaming channel just the other night at the club. I'll come back to the club in a second, and he was telling me that there are some STL files out there that are exactly for epic scale stuff. For every nation and all the other bits and pieces that Warlord don't do at the moment. So I'm going to have a look at those, see if I can get some of those printed out, stuff like just for extra bits and pieces. If I can get some extra cavalry to bulk up some units, I will do that kind of thing. So that's something I'm going to look into when Tim gets in touch with me about the links for that stuff. So yeah, as I say, at the moment I'm really enjoying painting them. They're taking a while because there is a lot of them. There's let me have a look. We've got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. There's 100 figures on each of those sprues. So those sprues are, they're absolutely packed out with stuff. It's going to take a while to get there. The other thing as well, I forgot to mention this in the past, I'd got a couple of things in the post. I've kind of cut down spending at the moment just because of things, and these are a bunch of 3D printed Vietnam figures. I've got quite a lot here. These were initially going to be for Charlie Don't Surf. You know who are you who sent some of these two through to me, so thank you. Some of them I bought off eBay as well, and they are the 3D Breed Vietnam range. It's quite an extensive range, and they are actually lovely figures. They're a little cartoony, a little fat, but put together they look pretty good, and I think it's probably one of the more comprehensive of the 15mm scale, apart from maybe Battlefront perhaps, who do Vietnam figures. So I've got a load of those, and at some point I will start painting them. I'll probably do them as a little like amuse-bouche in between doing some of the Waterloo stuff. I'm trying to work on the Waterloo campaign at the moment, but that's just something that came through. I forgot to mention it. Just as I was editing this video, the post turned up, and I've just had these two fantastic buildings delivered to me here. These have come from Paul over at Sabotage. He didn't actually say he was sending a parcel out. I didn't know what it was, and I'm absolutely blown away by these. These are 15mm Arnhem houses. Now, he's been working on these for ages, and I was planning on buying some of them because I want to do some Arnhem stuff in future. And but he's very, very, very kindly, very nicely sent these out to me. So massive thank you for that, Paul. Check these out. They are absolutely full of detail. These are two of them, and he's got a whole range of these. The amount of detail you got on these at 15mm is brilliant. I mean, you will have seen some of the Arnhem stuff that the Two Fat Lardies have been doing over at the Hartenstein Hotel, for example, and also probably on some of the shows and things as well. And these are the smaller versions of those buildings. They are now available. So I want to say thank you massively to Paul for those. Go and get them. I'll put a link to Paul's shop in the description, and these will. I'm going to definitely work on these soon and get these painted up, because these are going to look lovely, I think, on the table. So I was over at the club this week as well. We had a massive game of Space Hulk. It was great. There was 4 of us with Kev umpiring, so we had Andrew as the Gene Stealers, and then myself, Terry and Dex. We were playing the Terminators. We literally just I think Kev's got all of the expansions, so like Deathwing and I can't remember what the other ones is, Gene Stealer. So he'd got loads of Hulk tiles, so we basically just put everything together, just randomly stuck everything down. We all took a section of Marines each, so we each had 5 Terminators, and then Andrew just kept piling on the Gene Stealers. And it's such a good game. I mean, we narrowly won. I think we managed to get 5 of our 15 Terminators off the board. We needed to get at least a couple of them off half a squad or so, but so we managed to get, you know, a fifth of the no, we got 3 off, sorry, not 5, we got 3 off. So a Pyrrhic victory, if ever there was one, but it was absolutely fantastic. It's such a tense game, and I think, in my opinion, Space Hulk, the first edition, I don't know what the new one's like, the original box set is such a good game. It's brilliant. It is so full of tension. It just reeks of it, really. Every game, I've never had a bad game of it. It's especially as a Marine player, you know, when the blips are just getting more and more and more, and obviously it's just aliens, but it's such a good fun game, and I don't think Games Workshop have ever bettered it, to be honest, even though it was released, what, late 80s, I think, 88, 89, something like that, and I don't think they've ever bettered it, and I don't think they ever will either. My only problem with it is later editions, when they started adding all kinds of special sauce, as Games Workshop is want to do. So when they started adding in, you know, normal Space Marines and Eldars and Psychers and all that kind of stuff, it just, all right, you turned it into 40k in a corridor. It was good enough as it was, so just leave well alone. That's all I can say. But, you know, it's done now. But yeah, we had a great game, really. A couple of guys had not played before. I don't think Dex had played the board game version of it, and Andrew had never played it before either. And Andrew, as always, picked it up very, very quickly, and nearly gave us quite a few brown trouser moments throughout the entire game. So yeah, that's it. That's where we're at the moment. Not much else to tell you at the moment. As I say, I'm still waiting to get a table in here in the war room, so I can actually set up and play some games and just do some recording for that. That will happen in future. I'm still on the lookout for I know what table I want. I just need to find one at a reasonable price, because I think they're about 200 quid in IKEA at the moment. Because we've got so many other things to pay for, that is really down the list. So it will happen, it just hasn't happened yet. In the meantime, I'm going to be making other videos and things. I'm working on various bits and pieces. Oh, and one last thing to mention as well. I signed up with the Warlord affiliate program as well. What I will do is I'll put affiliate links in the video description down below. Basically what this means is you click on that link, it takes you straight through to the Warlord website, either the UK one, the USA, the rest of the world, and the EU ones. If you buy anything from Warlord and from their website, through that, basically I get a commission. So please, if you could, and if you are buying something from Warlord, and if you want to help the channel out and it doesn't cost you any more than what you will be paying for their stuff, then please use those links. I would be eternally grateful. You don't have to, and as I say, it costs you nothing anyway. It's just I get a little bit of commission, that's all. And as I say, it just helps out the channel. All the money will go back into making more videos. Right, as I say, I will leave it there. I'm done for this week. If you haven't, please do subscribe. There is still a lot of people who watch these videos who aren't actually subscribed to the channel. It does help out the channel, it helps out the algorithms, and it gets the word out to lots of other people who might be looking for this kind of content as well. So please do subscribe if you want, and also do check out Patreon and channel memberships, and I will see you in the next Storm of Steel video.